Well, Dan, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Andre Styles with Mix 1079. And I just want to first say that I am a big fan of you and the band, and my whole family is. So my son is 9 years old, and you were actually his first concert when he was five that
Uh,
we took him to.
nice,
Yeah.
dude. Thank you. Appreciate that. Nothing makes honestly when I'm on stage, there's nothing that makes me happier than looking out and seeing parents with their kids. It's like that for me is like my favorite concert when I was growing up was U2, and it was a similar experience like that. And yeah, just knowing that this kid is probably experiencing their first show, it gives you that extra drive on stage to really to bring it more than anybody else out there. It's seeing the kids that yeah, it makes me love what I do.
Well, when we were there, we saw you guys in Cincinnati. My wife and I have seen you guys twice. But when we went to the show in Cincinnati with my son and my daughter, there were a lot of families in the crowd, and that was great to see. And I kept telling my wife, and even after we saw you guys the first time, I'm like, this is great. These are songs that the kids hear on the radio that they're singing, but you guys also have such a positive message and a voice on that stage during your show that it's just great for kids and people of all ages to hear.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's pretty crazy because it's really, and I wouldn't even say it's intentional. It's just, I turn to music for refuge. It's a cathartic experience for me to create it. And I started writing when I was about 12 years old, and I was dealing with depression, and it was my place to go that brought me healing. That's what music did for me. And so I think just because that is the kind of music that I want to make, I'm not trying to like heal the world or some corny thing, but I'm just making music that's trying to make, and it's not always going to be happy. Sometimes that's, you want to write a sad song, that's cathartic, or an angry song, whatever it is. But so yeah, it's our shows are always a really um, positive place, and that makes me happy. Our fan base is a very positive fan base, and our people who are just, yeah, it's very joyous. It feels like a celebration.
Yeah, it is. And you guys, talking about your music, you are someone, and the band itself too. Your music is your story. You're telling your story in that songs. It's not having somebody else write the song, the lyrics down. You guys put it to the recording studio and go out and perform it. This is you. This is your emotions. This is what you've gone through, and the fans relate to that. They can sit here, like you said, whether it's a harder song like Cutthroat, or it's a little bit more mellow, slower song like Follow You or Believer or Radioactive, whatever it might be. Everybody goes through different emotions each day. I think you can find an Imagine Dragons song to deal with what you're going through, every day, every hour. Emotions change, and I think you guys hit on all of that.
Thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, yeah, it's just that I don't even thematically. I'm never thinking of covering any space. It's just I wake up and how I'm feeling that day. I record, and I think we have I have hundreds of, if not I guess yeah, thousands of these demos because I started when I was 12, and I probably write 60% of the days. So and a lot of these songs are terrible. They're just ideas. I wouldn't even call it a song as much as an idea, but um, and when you're experiencing life, you're experiencing the gamut of all those emotions. So there's going to end up being something that's kind of all along the spectrum.
And I know the story behind Follow You, which we love the song, playing it here. You got, the text from your wife before you guys were sitting down in front of the lawyers, the attorneys, decided to just say, screw it, we're leaving here. We're going to go grab lunch. Everything starts anew. And that's sort of what, you got and made and wrote Follow You. Now, before that, before you actually had received that text, how much music for the upcoming new album did you actually write? And then maybe after that sort of life-changing experience, did you go back and say, yeah, I'm not feeling this song right now, or this is different, I've got a different feel for it?
That's a great question. I think I had done maybe 10% of the record before Follow You. Follow You was one of the first ones for this record because I wrote it I want to say 2.5 years ago, something like that. And It was one of the reasons we pick songs. So one of the reasons Follow You even made the record, because like I said, it was competing between hundreds of different songs that were written within this 3-year period, is the songs that just age the best for us. So I'll send the song out right after I write it, and to all the guys. And then when it comes time to decide what songs to take into the studio, and then we brought in Rick Rubin, who produced the record, and then we kind of peel the songs apart and build them up from the ground and really make that's where they really become songs. But these ideas, the ones that age the best, are the ones that we go with. So, Follow You, it just always brought a smile to my face when I would hear it. Obviously, it carried with it the story, which was important to me, and now my wife and I have, since if the story is it's too long for me to get into. We went through separation, we got back together. Now we've been together. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary and had a child since. We have an 18-month-old boy, but it aged gracefully. It aged in a way that felt like I still cared about it. I cared about the melodies still. I cared about the feeling it gave me. More than anything, I just say the feeling. It's always, for me, when I put on a song, there's a certain feeling that it gives me. And if that feeling continues to feel magical to a degree over years of period, then I know that it's at least important enough that we need to release it. And that's the songs that make the record. Yeah.
And speaking of the record, because we have Follow You out now, we also have Cutthroat out now, and two totally different sounding songs. So when you take those two songs and you put them into the album, then how is the new album? What's the rest of that going to be? Because I know you talked about it's possibly almost going to be, there's two sides to the album.
Yeah, so it's kind of like if you had a tape cassette, there's side A and side B, and thematically, they're both different. Half of it is about looking outward, and that's the side with Follow You. It's a little more put together. It's very celebratory. I don't want to say it's more happy because there are some sad songs and happy songs, but it's about looking outward. The other half is about looking inward. And as someone who's dealt with mental health issues and bipolar and depression and anxiety since I was young, it's a pretty chaotic place in my mind. And so there's chaos is represented in the sonicality of it, the musicality of it, the instruments, also the lyrics. But when you listen to Cutthroat, it's almost like it's like going to fall apart at any time. It's like this supposed to be this very angst-ridden um kind of expose of like an exorcism of self-pity is kind of the way that I thought of it. Anyway, so there half of the songs kind of ride in that Cutthroat, and the fans will see they get put together in a way, and then it kind of comes together in the end and tells the story that we're trying to tell with this record, or that the record wanted to tell. And yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it. It's not two records, but it's one record, but it's split into two halves.
And when can we expect or hope to have the album out?
So the record, it is complete. It's being mixed right now, and we have the title and the artwork and all those things put together. And I can't tell you the exact date, but I will tell you it's soon. So sooner rather than later, it'll be out very soon, and we'll be touring it and the whole 9 yards. So we're excited. We're very excited.
Well, we're excited for the album as well too. I know we've got some limited time. One thing I wanted to ask you, because I know you guys are big supporters of the LGBTQ plus community. At what point in your career with the band or yourself did you realize that this is something you guys wanted to be a voice for? That you wanted to make that stand and to help support.
I grew up in a really religious community, and I had a lot of my closest friends who were LGBTQ. Even before they came out, I I knew and I watched how difficult that life was for them to be able to um, navigate and to find a healthy place for them. And I've since even lost friends to suicide who are in the LGBTQ community, not because our LGBTQ youth are weak. It's just because our world is broken and not providing a safe place for our LGBTQ youth. And so being put in a place of power and being given, and as a straight man, we need to speak up just like everyone else. There's a role to be played for everyone. Whenever, ain't no good change in the world happens until everybody, all the puzzle pieces are put in. And it's not about any one piece more than the other. It's about everybody coming together and saying this isn't right. It needs to change. And And so it's taken very little effort to just to use my voice, and yeah, so it's just something I care about.
Well, I'm glad that you and the band decided to take that up, and to be that voice, and the voice for everything that you guys believe in and that you guys follow, and not keep it in, being able to share that with everybody out there. Um, Before we go, because I talked about how my family and I are big friends or fans of yours. Yeah, friends would be great, but
We're friends, huh?
yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so I first saw you guys live at the American Music Awards when you did Radioactive, which is the band on the stage with all the big drums. And then you guys followed that by the Grammys performance, bringing out the drums, and Kendrick Lamar coming out for Radioactive, which was I play that song on repeat, the Kendrick Lamar version. I love that. And I know working with Rick Rubin now, you grew up listening to hip hop, and he had an influence on your life when you were younger with the bands and the musicians he worked with. Have you guys ever thought about doing like a collaboration album, something with you and like Kendrick or somebody else, almost like how Linkin Park and Jay-Z, did that Collision Course album?
Yeah, yeah, we've definitely we've had a lot of opportunities to do a lot of collaborations over the years, and we've typically not done them intentionally just because yeah, we're in such a collaborative heavy era right now that there's a lot of people doing that, and I don't know, a lot of my favorite bands growing up or artists, I just wanted to hear them typically. I was on a personal level, I wanted to hear just what they wanted to say. And that being said, I think there's a lot of incredible collaborations, and there's a place for it. Absolutely. I think we will dive into that more. I'm sure at some point. We didn't on this record. I guess I'm giving that away. I haven't said that yet before. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I just haven't felt inclined. I haven't hasn't felt right yet. Kendrick, I love Kendrick, and the way that came together was just very serendipitous. And he's an incredible person, and I love that collaboration. I'm really really proud of it. Um, and I'm sure there will be some in the future. I can't say when though.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed that hopefully maybe sometime soon. But we look forward to the new album coming out soon. Like I said, follow you and Cutthroat. We love them. And Dan, thank you so much for spending the time with us. And hopefully we can see you guys on the road soon and chat again soon.
Thank you for having me, and thanks for the support and the kind words, man. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Have a good one. And
You too.
tell your kid I said hi.
I will definitely. He was asking me even before the interview. He's when are you talking to Dan? When are you talking to Dan?
Love it.
Yeah. Have a good one. Thank you.